Hello, drama lovers. Welcome back to this channel. That night, as the studio lights slowly dimmed, the air, once filled with the hiss of equipment and crew shouting across the set, suddenly thickened, as if holding its breath along with the dozens of eyes that accidentally witnessed something far beyond the script. Filming was supposed to continue smoothly. Just one more take of the romantic scene, then everyone would call it a night. But no one could have predicted that Shu Kai, with steps as calm as a light drizzle, would cross the line between acting and reality, right in front of Tan Songyun, who sat quietly, hugging her script and blowing a loose strand of hair from her forehead. He approached, so quietly that the creak of the wooden floor echoed with every step. The crew looked over briefly, thinking he was going to adjust his blocking. But Shu Kai stopped half a meter in front of her, bent down, and looked at her with eyes warmer than any spotlight on set. Tan looked up, her lips parting as if to ask something, but she never got the chance. In a fleeting moment, short as a heartbeat, Shu Kai leaned in and placed a gentle kiss on her forehead, spontaneous, nearly like a missed piano key, so soft, yet it echoed in everyone's chest. That kiss, unscripted, unexpected, froze time. Cameras had already stopped rolling, yet it felt as if they longed to switch back on, desperate to capture the most honest moment of the night. Tan Songyun, usually quick to laugh and joke between takes, fell completely still. Her eyes shut briefly, perhaps trying to balance a world that suddenly tilted. Before she could speak, Shu Kai leaned closer and whispered something into her ear, so soft, the only thing anyone nearby could hear was the sound of breath, not words or meaning. Songyun held her breath. You could see her chest rise and tremble slightly before her eyes slowly opened. She didn't respond. She just stared forward, her eyes glassy, overwhelmed by something invisible yet so clearly felt. Shu Kai straightened his back, gave her a faint smile, then walked away, his steps light, like someone finally unburdened after releasing a secret too long kept. And as he disappeared into the dimmed lights, the hustle of the crew never truly returned. The next morning, the set looked the same. Lights still bright, costumes waiting neatly on racks, but the atmosphere had shifted into something wordless. Tan Songyun arrived early, bowing longer in front of the makeup mirror, patting her powder as if trying to convince her reflection that everything was just a dream. But memories, unlike shadows, never fade that easily. She smiled at the crew, yes, but her eyes betrayed her. Every time someone mentioned Shu Kai's name, they shimmered. Shu Kai arrived on time, carrying a cup of coffee that slowly cooled in his hand. He answered greetings politely, kept his professionalism intact, but the lines on his face were softer than usual, like rain that refused to stop. The camera began rolling, and both of them acted with impeccable dedication. Their chemistry remained flawless on screen, but each time the director called, "Cut," a different kind of silence fell between them, not cold, but charged with words left unsaid. Whispers began to circulate among the staff. One crew member shared how Shu Kai exhaled deeply after the whisper, as if breaking a weight that had anchored him. Another swore they saw Songyun wiping the corner of her eye near a prop lamppost. It didn't take long for those stories to leak into fan group chats, anonymous messages, half-clues, and screenshots flooding the timelines like pieces of a delicate puzzle. Online forums burst into speculation. Some believed Shu Kai had finally confessed feelings he had held back since their first drama 4 years ago. Others thought he was apologizing for old rumors about his past relationship, seeking closure before turning a new page. A few imagined he whispered a promise, "Wait until this filming ends, then let's talk honestly." But all of it remained shrouded in a fog that only intensified public curiosity. Fans began rewatching old interviews, dissecting every time Shu Kai praised Songyun's professionalism, replaying clips frame by frame just to catch the softness in his eyes. The hashtag #ShuKaiTanSongyun reel rose, dipped, and peaked again with each new behind-the-scenes photo. In one grainy ISO 800 image, Shu Kai stood slightly leaned towards Songyun while they reviewed a monitor playback. Their shoulders nearly touched, no space even for light to pass. The agencies said nothing. No official statement. In an industry quick to manage rumors with polished press releases, this silence spoke volumes. A no, a yes, even a simple "we're just friends" could have ended it. Instead, they let the silence linger. And from that silence, 1,000 stories were born. 3 weeks passed, but that single night lived on. A makeup artist reportedly saw Songyun staring at her phone, thumb hovering over a contact labeled Kai, never quite pressing dial. At another moment, Shu Kai was seen resting in the director's chair after a scene, eyes closed, as if replaying the whisper in his mind, either regretting it or holding on to it. They worked side by side in front of the camera, but behind it, each seemed wrapped in a quiet world of their own. During a press interview, Shukai smiled calmly and turned personal questions into praise for the production team. But when one journalist casually mentioned that night on the garden set, his jaw tensed. He inhaled deeply, spun a bottle of water in his hands, and answered, "Some things are more meaningful when left as beautiful memories." He bowed his head slightly afterward, like the sentence was meant for himself, not for public consumption. The room went silent. Elsewhere, Songyun attended a press conference for her new drama. Her pink lipstick covered the paleness of her lips, but couldn't hide the depth in her gaze when someone asked what honesty meant in work relationships. She paused, then said, "Honesty isn't always spoken, but it's always felt." The answer, soft but piercing, was all it took to ignite another round of speculation online. In the following nights, fans gathered quietly outside the filming location. No banners, no lights, just silence and hopeful hearts. One night, Shukai left the set late, hoodie pulled over his head. His car slowed near the gate. He rolled down his window, nodded gently at the waiting fans. No screaming, just quiet waves. He smiled faintly, as if to say, "Just wait." Soon after, an anonymous post surfaced. "I work at a cafe near the set." Shukai came in early, alone, writing in a small notebook. A blurry photo followed. A man in a cap, hunched over a page. From the angle of the pen, fans guessed the length of his message. From the worn-out corners of the page, they tried to measure the weight of his heart. Everyone chased the story, though no one could read the real words. One morning, the drama's official account released new stills, a lantern festival scene, Shukai and Tan Songyun standing back to back, each holding the string of a different lantern. Orange light danced across their faces, creating an illusion. They weren't facing each other, but it felt like they were connected. The caption read simply, "Sometimes the closest distance is when you don't need to look." Fans trembled. Was it just promotion, or a coded message? Tan Songyun replied with a single star emoji. Just one. But it said so much. That emoji, the same symbol that hung above them the night Shukai kissed her forehead, the same night of the whispered words, revived the whole discussion. People connected dots, rekindled theories. Now, even as the drama nears its final episodes, the behind-the-scenes story continues to breathe. Crew members jokingly call it the ghost scene, one that haunts the gaps between lines, influencing how cameras move, how directors pause, as if everyone senses an unspoken narrative running beneath the surface. But in the end, the story of a whisper remains between two people. We, the viewers, are just lip readers from afar, piecing together fragments of emotion, weaving alternative scripts around our curiosity. Perhaps behind a dark van door, Shukai and Tan Songyun already had a full, honest conversation. Perhaps they laughed at the frenzy online. Or maybe, they wept, finally understanding each other's wounds. Whatever the truth may be, we are already invested in the story born of a single kiss and a silent whisper. Tonight, as the editing suite dims and the final episodes near completion, a new rumor has begun to spread. Apparently, Shukai slipped a personal note into the blooper reel, just a blank frame with the words, "There was something I never got to hear your answer to." Whether that's real or just another staff rumor, no one knows. But it's enough to send a new hashtag trending within minutes. So that's how it goes. A story born from an unscripted kiss and an unspoken secret continues to echo, refusing to fade. We wait for the drama's final act, but more than that, we wait for clarity in real life. It turns out, television screens are no longer boundaries. They are merely windows into the quiet, raw emotions of actors who sometimes speak more truth when the cameras are off. So, what do you think, drama lovers? Was Shukai's whisper a long-awaited confession that finally connected two wandering hearts? Or was it a quiet goodbye meant to let Songyun keep shining, even without him? Was their silence the sign of something blooming, or something breaking? Drop your thoughts, hopes, or even doubts in the comments. Each one adds a new thread to this beautifully tangled story. And as always, don't forget to turn on notifications so you won't miss the next update. Who knows, maybe tomorrow morning, we'll wake up to a new photo, a fleeting video, or, if fate allows, a single sentence that finally breaks this long silence. Until then, let our hearts keep beating, waiting for the next story to pierce through the stillness. See you in the next tale.